Hello, hello. Looks like we are live. All right, my microphone is there. Hi, Abram. Thanks for joining. I'm just checking if I am live on Instagram. I'm actually live on Instagram for the first time today. And, this is a very special topic. All my topics are I started noticing certain patterns among the twin flame community, and I'm going to be doing more videos to address this because of the messaging, the ego, and all this kind of stuff. Hi, Liz, and it felt very concerning to me, and it is not your fault if you've been doing healing work and you're wondering where is your twin, why aren't they coming in, are you doing something wrong? This is something that I hear often. If my twin flame is not here, then I must be doing something wrong. And actually you're not. Whatever techniques you're using out there, whatever ways that you're connecting with yourself, you're aligning more and more, you're not doing anything wrong. And hi, Crystal, thanks for being here. This is ego. Okay, this is the ego mind. I'm gonna blame it on ego. All right, we're gonna dissect all of this, and my aim for this session is for you to understand how tricky the ego is and to nip it. Okay, you gotta nip it. That's been my whole theme this week. Let's nip that ego. It's been my theme with my B1 with you group membership. And we just get to the root. We get to the root of things because a lot of it has to do with fear. And so you're not targeting your ego, so to say, like you're going after your ego. You can, but you're going after the root of this. You're looking at the fear that drives the ego and doing something about it, right? You're doing it from that level. And hi, Kimberly. All right. And Tatiana, Rich, so glad you're here. I'll be answering the question soon. So, why am I blaming the ego? The information that you get out there, even information that I put out there, what I put is intuitively guided. Okay, I gotta drink some water. All right, I might be swallowing often for some reason. My mouth is doing some stuff. All right, and so where was I with this? The information that you're getting is relevant. So many of us out here are called to assist you on this journey. Okay. And for myself, everything I do is intuitively guided. Every single thing I do and put out there is my intuition saying, Asheen, this is what you're putting out there today. Okay. And so is there something wrong with the information? Maybe, maybe not, depending on your perception of it, because your soul is the one that's driving your journey, okay? Driving you through this journey. So if it aligns, it's for you. If it feels off, it's not for you. Always go with what feels good for you, okay, on a soul level. But here's what happens while you're consuming content. This is I want to say this is my theory, but I'm open to anyone saying Asheen, nope, that's not true. Asheen is like this, all of this kind of stuff. I love learning. I'm a super nerd, and I love to hear other perspectives too. Okay. So while you are consuming the information, there's a small part in the back of your mind that you're probably saying, nope, you shouldn't be there. I know I shouldn't do this. I don't need to be looking at the person, at my twin flame. I got to go within. But this small part is saying, where are they? Okay, is looking around, wondering, where is this person? This, once again, is your ego. Your ego this whole time, while you're doing the right thing for you, never mind what you hear. The information you get is what you take in. You take in what makes sense for you and turn it into what makes sense for you. Okay. But your ego that loves to feed on duality, that loves to grab on to proof and evidence and it wants it here right now is still playing a part in all of this. And the thing about the ego is that it will hunt. Okay, this is the mind. You can call it the ego, the mind, your thoughts. To me, it's all the same. Okay, so the mind searches for food. I call it food, to feed itself. It wants it here, it wants it now, and it wants it to look a certain way. So while you are consuming information, your mind's at play. Okay, being sneaky, and your mind is like, all right, maybe if I do it like this, maybe if I do that, it's gonna work. Okay, and even though you're like, nope, I shouldn't, this small part is like, I need this. I need this right here, right now. It needs to, whatever story is going on. And you might be feeling totally well at some point. You're like, oh, I'm doing great. I'm not thinking about this person. I'm feeling better. And then something happens, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm failing. Something didn't go your way, your mind's way, what your mind's looking for. And you're like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I'm failing. Even though you're not, okay? There isn't one aspect, there isn't one part of this journey, as long as you are putting in the work for yourself, that you're doing wrong. The only thing is, like I mentioned, the mind. So I'm going to come off of the mind a little bit and go into energy. When we're talking twin flames, we're talking energy, okay? It's primarily energy. I don't care what story the mind wants to say what's going on. A lot of it is energy. Your mind creates a certain energy that I call the come back to myself energy. It creates the come back to myself energy where your energy is outside of you more than you realize it is. All right. And anytime your energy is outside of you, it's on your twin flame, it's on money, it's on these goals and dreams, and you can't seem to let it go. Whatever you have going on, you need it right here, right now. It keeps the thing from coming to you. It doesn't matter. People, person, things, ideas, dreams, too much focus on it keeps it from coming to you. This is not a twin flame thing, but it happens in connection. So I'm going to share with you my story about energy. I didn't always know about energy. I didn't. And I wasn't energy healing. I wasn't doing all of this type of work until I met my twin flame. And then my life totally went a different direction, right? And so, and he knew before I did, he was telling me that he sensed my energy left at one of those earlier days and that kind of stuff. And I was like, you knew about energy at that time? I had no clue. Okay. But I had a little bit of understanding with it. A couple things happened that helped me to see energy and how powerful, how dense it is. Okay. We don't think it is, but it is. And so this situation was when I was divorcing my ex-husband. And it was 10 years of non-marital bliss. It was awful. It was a really awful 10 years of my life. He has narcissistic tendencies. I will put it that way. Even he knew it himself too. And once in a while would cry about it because he couldn't understand why he was the way that he was. And so while our connection was coming to an end, I tried everything to break it off. Like, we were living together and I was like, you need to go. You need to go. A year and a half of this, okay? A year and a half of this. Call it what you want. I had all sorts of criticism. Esheen, you need to put your foot down. You need to do this. You need to do that. The journey was as it was, and I don't regret how things ended though, because we were able to end things amicably. Whereas people who were telling me you need to rush this, you need to do this, this, and that, went through horrendous divorce situations that costing way too much. My divorce was $200 and something, and we were done. Okay. And so it felt like he was never going to leave. I was like, oh, please, when is this going to end? I had enough. And then I knew the moment it was over. I knew because I sensed it. It was like a dark cloud left, went past my head, finally cleared up. The energy was gone. It was like his energy that was on me was gone. So during the 10 years, like I'm pretty, like I said, I'm a nerd. I learn things quickly. I don't need things said to me twice. During those years we were together, I couldn't remember anything. I suffered a lot of anxiety, panic attack, depression, you name it. My memory was just gone. The moment that cloud left, my memory came back like that. I was remembering things instantly. To this day, I just need to hear things one time, and believe me, as long as I heard you, I heard you. And I was like, what was that? Energy. Okay, energy. So this was how his energy was on me, and my energy was on him because I was in that wounded place. What can I do to make this connection better? Losing myself, trying everything to have to gain his attention, to whatever it was, to feel seen and heard and validated, you name all of that. My entire energy went into that, trying to make it work because that's what society said, right? At the time, I was very religious and I was like, I can't leave this connection, religion said so. Family said so, society said so. It was so bad when I chose to divorce, I had to say, sorry, God. And then someone said, God changed the memo, I was like, why didn't I get that memo? Like, I felt really guilty about it. And so my energy was on him. And there was a time he said, why can't you focus on something else? And I was just like, what? Like, focus on something else. Like, his example was go to the gym. But he wasn't trying to insult me. What he was trying to say is, your energy is too much on me. Go do something else. This does not feel good. And one of his phrases was constantly, I feel like I'm in jail. I feel like I'm in jail. I kept hearing that. And I felt like the most single married man. I'll put it that way. I'm like, how on earth are you in jail when you're doing whatever you want to do? So that was my story then. The two places where energy was. Okay. And so when you understand how energy works, you will know that when your energy is placed on something, that something feels some sort of resistance. It makes it hard for the person to think, to function, to do. It's like that energy, whoa, what is that? And when it comes to money, because I always have to talk about both, because it works the same way. Money says, I can't come in. You're too focused on me. Like, what is that energy? And so I share these with you because I really want to make this less twin flame related when it comes to energy, your thoughts and your energy. Your twin flame, well, your twin flame is you. The situation is not different with this person. When you have any amount of energy on this person and you're thinking your way through the connection, you're trying to make something happen. I don't care if it's the person or money, it's not going to happen for you. It just won't. And if you are in connection with each other, you're in a relationship together, and there is this constant, what do I need to do to fix this? It's not going to get fixed. Okay? Because you're thinking your way through this. I'm sensing this is some sort of law of stuff, law of physics, definitely law of attraction, manifesting. The universal laws are here, right? But something about physics I'm sensing. We like to believe that connection is different than anything else. I was there for years where I thought love was enough. Like, love was enough for a relationship. I love this person, therefore it should work out. And then doing all this effort to make it work just to find out it doesn't work. And it has a lot to do, again, with energy and your thoughts. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth, like, what do I do about this? What do I do about this? Okay, so I'm going to get to that real soon. Let me check the comments here. And hi, Yashin. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. What were the top 2 signs right before a reunion for you? Ooh, I'll let you know that. And my ex-husband is also a narcissistic. Yeah. And when it comes to those connections, you don't even know you're in it if this happened to you. You don't know you're in it until somewhere towards the end. And I stumbled across a word, narcissism, read it and was like, wow, that explains it. And then developed a degree in narcissism. I can teach this stuff, okay? All right, so I'm going to back up to the question, the top 2 signs right before reunion for you. Reunion, like actual reunion is what I'm going to describe. Because there are times your twin flame, which happens to me, we crossed paths. The universe decided it was that time. This was when I had started my mission already. Okay. At the time, I was teaching to soulmates and twin flames, relationship healing, same thing I'm doing now. Not to this extent. I was starting out, right? So I finally dived into my mission and I was living a wonderful life. I was actually still connected with someone else. And even though it was off and on with that connection, that's a whole nother story about energy too. Okay. But we were making plans to be together. And then the universe said, congratulations. You are now in reunion. Manifest, exact words, manifest your twin flame. Okay. And wait, actually, before that, the universe came to me and was talking to me. This was my experience. The experience may be different for you. The universe came to me and was like, you're the one rejecting the connection. And then I fought. If you follow my story, I fought the universe. And then there came a moment, they're like, congratulations, you did it. Now manifest him. I had no clue at the time. I was still trying to figure out how to manifest. And it was literally one day when I was like, show him to me right now. I walked into the store and there he was. Okay. This was an opportunity for looking at my pain, looking at my wounds, unhealed wounds, especially with the connection, because the wounds were still there. The fear of being rejected. Too many times in the past before then, I felt rejected and I was terrified to go in there, to go back to that. Okay, the feelings are too strong, the connection's too strong, everything too strong. It felt too scary. I didn't know it at that time. Okay, this is one of the reasons I do the work that I do, to teach you so you don't have to go down that path. When you discover how, to heal those wounds, I don't care what anyone says out there, you don't need to, and that kind of stuff. You're dealing with yourself. You're dealing with yourself when it comes to your twin flame. They show you because that's you. And so when you have fear of being rejected by them, fear of connection because you've been hurt so much in the past, fear of opening up and saying what's in your heart, okay? Because you're afraid of what they're going to think about you. Your twin mirrors every aspect of that, okay? So you heard it from me. This is where the healing is. The healing is not to get your twin flame to come back. They're going to come back. In that moment, I wasn't trying to get him back. The universe was just like, there you go find him. And because at that time, I didn't fully understand. I was terrified. I kept trying to run from it and all this kind of stuff. I said, universe, stop making me do things I don't want to do. I was really mad. But now when your twin comes, when your twin returns, because the universe put you together, unexpectedly, A lot of the times it was unexpected. There was no waiting or doing anything for him to come back. There was none of that. Okay. So when this happens and you have fear that comes up, don't run from the connection. That's my thing for you. Don't run. And I know sometimes it's so hard. The mind makes it really, really hard to stay. The mind is like, I'm jumping ship. Either I'm going to fight really hard or I'm out of here. Like, I can't. The way they're acting, what they're doing, that's what the mind is going to do when you're not healed from whatever the connection is showing you. Because that's what it's doing. The connection is showing you something within yourself. And your twin wasn't the only one doing it. Matter of fact, that ex-husband with narcissistic tendencies, okay, because I won't diagnose him as narcissistic, but we know. A shift happened in him too, where he started to step up and is doing more for the kids and stuff like that. The memories in my cell are just like, I'm not quite there yet with this connection and that kind of stuff because of the years of experiences and so forth. But in that particular time in my life, I didn't know me. I didn't have a connection with me. My connection was outside of me and people pleasing and doing all sorts of things. And that attracted that connection into my life and was mirroring where I had issues with boundaries, issues with self-control, emotional issues, and all this kind of stuff. So that's what your twin flame connection does as well, in a bigger way, because that is you. And so once I started doing the healing work, boy, I did quite a lot. And I would have to say this came after surrendering how many times? All right. I'm like, universe, I surrender. Did some dumb stuff. Universe, I surrender. How many times until it became evident to me that this connection was not going anywhere. The universe was not giving up. And they were demanding. They're demanding and super forceful. That was my experience. Again, this may not be you. Maybe this is your so-called running twin flames experience, where they're getting pushed in all kind of ways to let go of their old patterns, because this connection does that. You can't go into the connection with the same patterns, the same relationship styles that you've had with anybody else. And I'm not going to glorify twin flame connection, make it seem like it's different. It is not. A lot of people are like, why can't it be like other connections? Why can't my relationship with my twin flame be like other relationships that I had, or be easier? Let me ask you this. Have you had an easier relationship? Maybe some of you are like, yes, I did. Okay. I'm probably not talking about that one. Most of us have not. So what are we comparing the connection to if you've never had a relationship with someone who totally supports you and gets you and wants the best for you and all this kind of stuff? What are you comparing it to? And the thing is, with those connections, you couldn't have that if you didn't know yourself and know your feelings and have a soul connection within. You didn't know anything about connecting with your soul during those times. Okay. And so where is the comparison? This connection, the twin flame connection, heals a lot of, I want to say, aspects within yourself that wasn't working well in connection. It's going to show you a whole lot of that. And when you can take a step back and not take what the twin flame is doing personally, it's going to help you out a lot. Let go of making it personal and having beliefs. They're doing this to me, they're doing that. It's not going to help you in any kind of way. All right. So I knew reunion was going to come when I finally understood that. When I took the time to really say, Isheen, this is you. And the universe showed me that or explained that so many times. Okay. I tried the all tricks, something else, negotiating with the universe. I'm like, universe, I can't seem to get myself together, okay, for this connection. Like I can't. And what did that mean with the negative thoughts, with what was it, seeing duality, being concerned about what he was doing, or just trying to go to another connection or something like that, which was a struggle for me. It was a struggle because of attachment. That's one thing you're gonna learn, how to let go of attaching yourself to things and become an observer instead. Okay, super important. Be an observer. And I don't care, twin flame, money, whatever it is. That's what happens when you are aligned with your soul. So that's a whole nother video. That might be next week's video or something like that. All right. And so when I was going through those things, the universe literally laughed at me. I'm like, universe, please, I'm doing my best. Like, can't you just have it in his mind that she's doing her best and that he can just see that and forgive me for those things. The universe was like, that's you, Asheen. I was like, oh. So it was like the things I would do would be mirrored. Okay. There did come a point, I have to say, the universe was like, well, that's not going to happen anymore. Okay. You're past that part. Now it's all growth from there, growth and understanding and things like those. Okay. But there was a time, the universe kept reminding me, this is you. So I don't care what your thoughts and beliefs are, all of it gets shown. The fear of connection, fear of rejection, and all this kind of stuff. So I had to work on those. This is my guidance for you, my suggestion. If you're afraid of this connection in some kind of way, I know many of you might be like, I'm not afraid, but if you're afraid they're going to leave you for someone else, they're going to find someone else interesting, that is fear. I don't care. Fear is fear. Doesn't matter what it looks like. If you're having that in this connection, you've got to take a look at it. Okay? You've got to take a look at it and work towards healing that. And if you can't seem to, because fear is a part of us, don't connect it with your twin flame. The moment you connect it with your twin flame, it's affecting them. It's affecting them. Okay. And that was something the universe taught me. The universe was like, when you pin your fears on this person, like, why are they doing this to me? Why are they doing that? You hurt them and your connection. Okay, you hurt them and your connection. And this is not just twin flame. This happens with anybody. And so whenever I feel a certain way about someone, I like to, look within, switch up what I'm saying. Like, perhaps this is their journey. It's not their intention. That wasn't what they were trying to do. Okay. Or, what's the or? Lost my thought right there for a second. Or see if you're manifesting that. Because whenever we're telling ourselves something that someone is doing, that's what's going to show up and keep showing up. And it's like that person stays trapped in that. They can't come out of it. You might have had a partner that, or your twin flame might have said this to you in the past. I don't know why I am this way. I don't know why I do these things. Because a lot of it is a manifestation. Okay. This happens when the mind tries to take control of everything. Whenever you're feeling really worried, really concerned and stressed about any part of this connection, that is a sign that you're too much about it. You're just too much about it, more than you realize. Okay. You've got to come off this person. And I did say I'm going to go into that. So in a moment. All right. So I'll look at the comments again. And all right. So to finish that question, I knew when I felt peace with the connection, and there was no question in my mind. There was nothing like, is he or is he not? Are we going to? Absolutely nothing. Just total surrender, like just nothing. Okay. And I really had to learn through money. And that's why I bring up money a lot. A lot of my attachment, letting go, and well, after I let go of attachment to a physical body of anybody, money was my next step because I was still clinging on to, well, actually, no, I was doing fine manifesting. Everything was great till the universe just put like a stop to it, brought out my deepest fears, and then I had to learn all over again how to let go, how to completely let go. And it was quite a learning experience, and it's been so much better. So much better. So I had to learn that there first before this connection. And it's one of the reasons why I recommend, if you have a really hard time letting go, figure out where in your life are you holding on to things? Are you trying to control things and make things go your way? And you don't know how to receive quite yet. Okay, so you don't know how to ask for help. You're afraid to do that in some kind of way. Or when help shows up, you're still saying, don't worry, I got it. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Gotta learn to, I'm releasing control in other areas of your life. That's my recommendation. Because if you do this with this person, I'm going to learn how to, control the ego and let go. And to this particular person, I'm telling you, your ego is pretty sneaky, and it's gonna find a way to attach and ask, when is it working? Is it working? How is it going? Your ego is sneaky. Okay. And do you think twin flames are meant to have children and live together? Twin flames have children and live together. Yes. I know some of these things out there. There are twin flames who have kids together. Or is it better to keep the focus of the relationship on healing and sacred work together? Everyone's journey is different. If this is what you feel internally is your connection, keep the focus there. I want to say be more focused on yourself, because I'm going to let you know what really happens in this connection. And again, money, I like to tie the two. Okay, this is just me. I'm helping you. If you have financial struggles, do take these suggestions with money too, because it works the same way. But I'm going to let you know in a moment. So I'll just look. Ooh, perhaps I will now. Okay, hold on. I wonder if domestic life will take away from the sacred work and healing. Not if you let it. Not if you let it. All right. So let me go into this now. I'll go into this now. All right. When it comes to your connection with your twin flame, a lot of what happens in your connection is a manifestation of you, of your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs, your creation. Okay. You're a creator. When you're within soul, you're out of your mind. You tell your mind, get lost. And you move into soul and you let go of all control. Everything you want, you feel, you desire, you're sensing unfolds. Your twin flame starts to show you everything. Okay? Without you having to do anything. This is a person who gets you. And actually, this can be with anybody else too, but we're talking about twin flame. Right now, we're talking about twin flame, okay? This has been my experience and what I've observed, what other people have let me know. Oh my goodness. When I stop asking, stop looking, stop begging, stop trying, my twin is doing all the stuff. They're saying all the stuff I've wanted. Now, here's the tricky part, okay? Your mind, goodness, is going to try to get in there and say, it's not fast enough. I need it to look a certain way. Why aren't they doing X, Y, and Z? Okay. And once you start to say these things to your twin. I need it to be like this. I need you to show up like this. I need, right? For certain things to go a certain way, you're going to notice this person start to back away from all of that. Or maybe they'll say, I'll do it, and then they just don't. Okay. There is something in that energy of I need to have. Now, you're going to say, Isheen, why can't I express what I need? Well, you're manifesting. You're manifesting it. So if you feel like you need to say, I need you to do this and all this kind of stuff, there's a part of you that feels like you don't already have it. Okay. It feels like you don't have it. The universe is a big part of all of this. And you and your person receives messages and things like that from the universe, signs and all of this kind of stuff. Our mind likes to believe that it's just us, there's nothing else involved, and we need to do something about this. Okay? You've got to trust in the universe. This is why a lot of times people will hear their twin flame say, I feel like you're the one. You're the one for me. Because why do they feel like you're the one? Take a step back. Why do they feel like you're the one for them? If this has happened to you, if you've heard that, this is an inner knowing. Okay. So if you have heard this, then you know the universe is talking, or intuition is saying something. As long as we're here in the physical body, we have intuition. So to say this person doesn't have any and they're like half brain dead in some kind of way, no offense to anybody, then it's like saying they don't have intuition. You don't have that shared soul. Like, no, everyone has intuition, and you've got to trust that. All right. So when you become an observer instead, it's like you know what's going to happen because that's what you're putting out in the universe. That's what you feel wholeheartedly deep down inside. And you are a creator of it. You're a soul. That soul just knows. Your soul, like everything you want is coming from your soul. So let your soul take over. Okay. And you just really move within and let go of external and be an observer instead. It unfolds. Everything unfolds. Okay. I mentioned money. Money, same way. All right. So how does it work with money? Well, you state what you like to create, what you want to happen. And especially if you're a business owner, this is going to help you a lot. So you know what you want. The next step is to stop trying to make it happen. Get your mind out of there. It took me years. Okay. I've been working with manifestation, perfecting it, and all this kind of stuff. And it took me years to realize that your mind is not manifesting anything. You can't manifest with your mind. You can't do anything with your mind. Your feelings are not your mind. Your mind is pretty much there to help you heal and grow and all this kind of stuff. It's going to challenge. It's challenging you with those beliefs that are there. Now, take a look at those beliefs. Actually, look at them. Don't just, if you hear like ignore it, I don't recommend that. Your triggers, your fears, the ego, look at them. They're teaching you something. So you can use your mind as a teacher for whatever it is that you'd like to create, because it's going to let you know where your fears are. Okay. Because the mind's going to say, I have to do something. No. So how this works, when you're in soul, you're letting your soul lead. That's it. You're sensing and feeling something within, and you're moving forward that way instead. Okay. Not with your mind. Those thoughts, no. Perhaps your mind is pretty good at creating. This is your conscious mind that's like, oh, I need something done. I need to eat better. I need to, elevate my business. I need to figure out how to get more clients. If you're a business owner, I need to exercise more. I want better connections in my life. This is what the mind is good for, your conscious mind. Everything else is subconscious, which is what, to me, is what we would label as the ego that triggers us, and all this kind of stuff comes from there. There's a certain belief that is there that's running the show. So when you feel super scared, I don't know if I can, I don't know if they will show up, I don't know if my intuition is correct, I don't know any of this, is because there is a belief in your subconscious mind that's still there, that's asking for your attention. All right. This is what I focus on. This is what my healing is about, is getting to the root of the fear and healing it from there. It is for you, for your benefit, so you can experience a connection, a loving connection with your partner. Okay. And it's not about the external. It's not about the partner. It's not about the money. It's not about any of that. It's being aligned within and feeling free and at peace, and just knowing everything's unfolding, and just trusting that the universe got this, and you're being an observer as it unfolds for you. Okay, so that's how this happens. So rather than, if you feel like you're meant to be working together with your twin flame, instead of saying, perhaps you consult with your soul. Okay, I'm just sharing information here. You know this in your heart. You know of its creation that is being created. Let it be created. Okay, it'll unfold, unfold, unfold. The moment your mind steps in there, just know it's not unfolding. Tell your mind to go somewhere else. All right. And then to quiet the mind, honestly, you've got to take a look at what it's telling you. There's some fears behind it, and look at it, break it down. What's that word I'm hearing? It's like programming. It's you reprogramming the belief. This is how you do it. Okay. All right. And sacred work, you and your twin flame you have a calling. Okay. If this is you, if you're meant to be doing the work together, you both have a calling, or perhaps your twin has a specific role in that sacred work together, and things like those. Never force the idea. Obviously, don't force the idea. Let it unfold. Observe. Ask questions if you have to, but be an observer. I wonder if domestic life will take away. All right, I did read that. Domestic life, it's all about energy. It's all about energy and manifesting too. Okay. So if there is this energy of, I don't know if it's going to happen, I'm not sure, you're panicking and all this kind of stuff, it can get in the way of anything. Anything. There does come a point, I have to share this with you, because some of us out here are like, what do I have to do to make it? No, there will come a point when you and your twin flame chooses the connection and chooses to stay there. Okay, there will come a point. I'm a big believer in the power of the universe and the things that the universe does, because I've been there, and the universe will show you that you got no other way to go. If you're meant to be with your twin flame, it will become very obvious. And so then the next step is, what do I do to stay in connection with each other? And so for your twin flame, unfortunately for your twin flame, I say it's unfortunate, but perhaps it really is you working together with this balancing of energies and things like those. Is if you're the leading twin, or if you want to call it the negative twin or the positive, or whichever, like I'm not one with these terminologies and that kind of stuff, but perhaps if you're the push twin, I don't like the word, but just so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about, your thoughts and your energy affects that person. It just does. If you want to question it and be like, why is certain things about the universe, just don't question. Understand. Okay. So what does that mean? It means they want to show up for you. So when they're guided to be with you, when the intuition says, this is your person, this is the one, and they're trying to come close to you, the negative thoughts and the energy of I'm afraid, they reflect that and can't do it. Okay. So that is the only thing with that. They can't do it. All right. So your thoughts and your energy matters a lot. If you can take so much of that off of the person, take so much of it off of money, same thing. Just take it off. I know it feels scary sometimes. The mind wants to hang on and says, I can't let it go because what if it doesn't come if I let it go? Gotta work that out with your mind. Because the reality is, when you hold on strongly to something, it doesn't come to you. It can't. And that is a frustrating thing for the pull twin, if you want to call it that. When they're surrendering, when there's no running happening, when they realize this is the connection that is not going away and there's no one else. A lot of divine masculines will say that. I understand the connection and I understand anyone else would not make any sense. Okay. These are things that I hear from my clients. Okay. When their divine masculine comes in. And so be aware of your thoughts and your energy. If anything, just shift it out of there. Get out of there and be an observer instead. Okay. And I've noticed that since I've been separated in surrender mode and I'm in a better place, men act as if they are afraid to approach me. Not that I want to be with anyone outside of my twin. They're I won't speak on this. What's coming to my mind is some sort of energy they're receiving, but at the same time, if they're not your person, that would happen too. But if you're noticing a lot, or maybe you're in your power and they're not quite in their power, who knows? Maybe they're like, your light is shining bright on my dark side, my dark self that I'm trying not to touch. We don't know. The answer is in your on. You can connect with your soul for that answer if it's something you're interested in looking into. And what dreams did you have before union? I'm not big on dreams. I hear about them from people. I must have had maybe three altogether, and that's like years down the line. Like, I would hear about it from people. I am aware that for some people, there's more dreams. They have more dreams more frequently before reunion happens. They'll be like, why do I keep dreaming about this person? And then they start seeing them driving past their house or something like that. I am aware of that. Any dream that I had showed me myself, and they were awful. And I hated them. And this is why I say, whatever dream you have, because people would tell me, I had this dream that was like, ugh, what does it mean? And I ask, what do you feel it means? Because that first instinct that you have about the dream is what it's telling you. It's what it's telling you. So the dreams that I had, those 3 times, my twin ignored me. Okay. Totally ignored me. And if you're dealing with being ignored outside and in the dream, it's like, oh my goodness, like in the dream too. And it showed me how I was ignoring myself. That was the message for it. So at the time, years ago, I'm preaching. And deep in my mind, I'm like, this is too scary. And so I had to really look at myself. It just went to show that I was ignoring. So those were my dreams. Okay. And as the runner, I keep getting guided to reach out to my twin flame every so often. So I do get a great response from him, and he shows he desires the connection, but then he disappears again. Fear, absolutely. Absolutely. Fear, thoughts, thoughts and energy. Thoughts and energy. Okay. This will be like another video where I would have to ask you, what were your thoughts? Because your twin shows you those thoughts. What were your thoughts? You mentioned that you're a runner. So if your thoughts, if you had any thoughts, well, I won't create your thoughts, but anything similar to, I don't know if this is for real. I don't know if they, anything like that, that's what your twin goes through. And there's also a fear of connection, a fear of opening up. A lot of people run away from connection because they're afraid of being rejected. So I'm going to reject this connection before it rejects me. And that's a form of protection and things like that. But regardless of the case, it does have to do with fear. And as you're healing your fear of connection, he shifts as well. And when he comes back, when the universe brings you back together, knowing once you learn how to manage your fears, how to work with your fears, when he presents fears, you're able to see it and work through it together instead of it's like an energy that just it'll take me a while to explain. This is all about connection. This is about connection. Sometimes we feel like we're connecting and the person expresses something about them, or they're trying to, but our mind creates something else. Oh, maybe they're saying this. Oh no, it's okay. Like, we'll tend to say things like those. That doesn't help anything. Okay, so once you learn that within yourself and develop, how do I work on connection, how to experience a connection with someone, especially when they are in their wounded self, it helps with the connection when he returns. Okay, fear of the unknown, really, yes, it is fear of the unknown. The mind wants to know. It wants to know, it's got to be here, it needs to look like this, otherwise I don't know how to believe it. Right, that is the mind. I'm feeling great about my progress and much more relaxed. A friend mentioned that I'm waiting for my twin flame. I told him that I'm not waiting and I'm enjoying my life. He'll be back in the right time. Great, perfect. All right, excellent. Of course, people will say that. They want to see you with someone, but they don't quite understand the journey. Maybe this is your friend, maybe this is not. That does happen. I do notice eventually people surrender too. They're like, you're on some kind of journey, you know about it, I'm just gonna back away. All right, hi Yashin, my intuition not sharp like before. It takes work. It does take work. For me, the intuition is like a muscle and you got to work with it. Work with it so it enhances, intensifies, and you can hear it better or feel. It all depends on how your intuition comes through. Not everybody hears. For me, my strongest psychic sense is clairaudient. Perhaps you could be clairvoyant, where you see it, clairsentient, you feel it. It all depends on what your strongest psychic senses are. Okay, and I've had 2 dreams about them in the past month. In both dreams, I was ignored as well. Okay, so whatever your intuition tells you, which could be similar to what it said to me, but whatever it tells you, the dream was letting you know. I've had a lot of dreams since we've been separated about my twin. As far as men, I feel like I've stepped into my power. That's why men are afraid to approach me. Okay, your light is bright. It's gonna take a strong person, and I say it in a good way because you really want stronger folks around you, and the ones who are not yet in their power, to stay away. And so I'm just saying that as you're healing, you're elevating, you're growing, no judgment on anybody and that kind of stuff. So that may be a blessing in itself, depending on how you feel about it. Okay. And I mean, twin flame journey. I keep having friends and family ask me if I'm dating anyone. Just say yes. Just say yes. Ask later. Tell them, yes, I'll tell you about it later. Okay. Only because of manifesting. I'm telling you, the moment you're like, no, I'm not, universe gets that you're not. Like every single word, every word that you say. Okay. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. They just haven't seen them in the physical yet, but it's coming. God's working on it. All right. I've had 2 dreams about them in the past month. In both dreams, I was ignored as well. I've been paying more attention to myself than ever, and things are going great. And then that wasn't finished. Awesome. Thank you for answering. I will have to think more about what fear that is I'm having. All right. And sometimes it's not you, it's your subconscious. Okay. So, real quick with you guys, okay? As you're growing and you're hearing things about relationships or you're observing things about your relationships, fear develops. Okay. If the relationships you've been around was a lot of headache, a lot of arguing, perhaps both parents weren't together, one wasn't around, and all this kind of stuff, this creates some sort of fear of connection because that's what you've known. Okay. And I would have to say, when you get to the root, when you go to the root, inner child is my kind of thing, you'll uncover what these are, what these beliefs are, and be able to shift them so that your reality changes. All right. And have you had many clients with really, really similar catalyst partners? All with twin flames. I would have to say maybe one time someone wasn't with a twin flame. So I'm not sure what you mean by catalyst partners, because their twin flames are catalysts. All right. Some people have had prior experiences with their twin flames where someone was a catalyst. That happens, but a lot of times it's their twin who serves as a catalyst for them. I'm an empath, but I've known about me before my twin flame journey. Yeah. I mean, they seem similar to the twin. Oh, that will happen. That will happen. Sometimes you encounter people who feel similar. Oh, or one person we will call, just for the sake, false twin flame. Happened to me, happens to some folks, feels a lot like twin flame. It's usually like one connection like this. I haven't heard of more than one unless that happened with you. But yeah, okay, I'll tell them dating someone when they ask. And I think I think my intuition comes through as feeling. I can be really balanced and then see my twin. And I think I pick up on his fear and get confused. Any help with that? I feel like I need a little more explanation. So you pick up on your twin's fear. All right. I want to say when all right. And I'm thinking about this can be with anybody, right? Not just twin. When you pick up fear on someone, it gives you an idea of what's going on with them. All right. Sometimes we question ourselves when we pick up on someone's energy, on what they're going through. We're like, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is where this is going, but your psychic senses that is letting you know that something is wrong with him is just letting you know that something is wrong with him. And when you're able to communicate about these things, you can always ask the person, are you okay? I was sensing like maybe something's going on with you, or maybe you needed someone to talk to, or however it is, however it comes from a soul. Even as this is one thing I've come to learn being in business, when you're in conversation with someone, for the business owners out there, and you sense that there's some sort of like a hesitation, ask about it. A lot of times we tell ourselves, or we overlook it because we're not that strongly connected with that psychic sense, being clairsentient. And so it like quickly goes past us. But whenever you sense something from someone, you're sensing it. This is your psychic senses letting you know something's off, something's wrong, and believe it. Okay. So it's up to you if you want to ask him any question about it, just like, hey, are you doing okay? Or anything like those, or you just use it as information. Because sometimes when we feel like something's going on with someone, that could be a moment to be like, oh, let me step back. Maybe this is not the right time to ask about this difficult situation, and just give them some space and stuff like that. All right. So trust your feeling on that. Man, me and mine are both females, and my ego self got to present myself feminine while she learned masculine. Our true selves are opposite, and that's the only way it seems we will connect. Okay. That's your connection there. I'm seeing her completely different than the 3D. Spiritually, I see her girly in dresses. In person, she's not this at all. You're probably seeing her from a higher perspective. I haven't quite heard of this before, but you might start to see where 3D aligns with what you've been seeing spiritually. So perhaps you're seeing her true self that she's thinking about. You can even ask her, how do you feel about dresses? And then if you're in communication, and see what she says about it. Maybe she's like, hey, I've been thinking about wearing dresses, but it hasn't felt able to come out of her shell and get into them, right? Okay, so that's a possibility there. But your intuition, guys, your intuition will give you the answer you need when you're in question about some of the things that are happening in your connection. For myself, we take a look at fear, trusting your intuition, moving through soul, and manifesting. This is a lot of the work that I do, whether it's one-on-one or in my group coaching program. We just started yesterday, and I'm keeping the price at $37 for entry just for today. So the link for it is at the bottom. The price is going to increase after today. And so these are the things that we take a look at. Everything else is you, your soul, God, and so forth. But we got to get the fear out of the way, get you in touch with your intuition, get you to believe how magical you are, to truly connect with yourself, have this inner union, so to say. It's like you being one with you, and you're releasing attachment to the things outside of yourself that you really cannot control. The mind wants to control everything. It really wants to. But in controlling, it just slows things down. I don't say it messes things up. It never can mess up what's yours, but it slows things down. So these are the things that we look at. All right. And I'm seeing more question. Is it better to complete no contact with twins, or should you start as friends? This is a soul question. Soul question. Okay. And if after this live anyone has any answers, go ahead and so on. Your soul will provide you with that answer, whether you can be friends or not. And if you choose to be friends and something feels off with it, that's telling you something too. I do not believe in a solid things have to be like this completely. That's not me. Okay? Because your soul is guiding you. It's letting you know how to navigate through whatever it is that you're trying to navigate through. All right. And she says she doesn't want to be my friend. Okay. No friendship. She doesn't want it. No friendship. What's going to happen as she comes in, when she returns, remember this, be an observer. Don't label it. Don't call it friendship. Don't call it. Be an observer and let things unfold on its own. You know, the mind wants to attach a label to something. You don't need it here. You don't need it. And how do we know we're truly balanced? I find my soul going through the same issues in different people. Twin aside, that I want to heal and better, but can be difficult. I got to do a video on balance. I have a whole other perception on balancing energy. Okay. Hold on. My throat is like super dry all of a sudden. We got to call it something else. Okay. I was thinking about this today, so I'm glad you brought it up. We got to call it something else. I call it being in connection with yourself, being aligned with everything that you are, being connected with your higher self, with God, being at peace, more than it has to do with balancing. Because a lot of times when we heard balancing, we're like, oh, I got to balance this and all this kind of stuff. You're releasing everything. Okay. You're allowing things to just be, is really what it is. Certain terminologies I'm finding are not helping. They're just not helping because the mind wants to know, am I doing it right? Am I balancing right? Is that a push energy? Did I just, the mind wants to do that. So the mind attaches to these terminologies. And I'd rather move away from that and explain what's really happening. So you'll see more videos on that. And any tips on staying present when you're in a lot of pain? My twin is in his homeland for a month and his family didn't tell me because I feel he didn't want to hurt me and I've been sad and in pain. You got to take a look at why you're sad and in pain. Like, what's going on there? And as you know, my work is not thinking what's going on, but connecting with what's going on. What is it that you're feeling in your body? What is your mind saying? What's going on subconsciously? But I'll also give you a quick tip, okay, that can help you with this. And it goes something like this. I am not in control. Okay, simple phrase. I am not in control. That was one of the things that helped me. Like I mentioned, I struggled with attachment with money at one point, and I realized it doesn't do anything. Things are going to happen however they're going to happen, whatever way they are meant to happen. And so I'm not in control. Okay. To help you release from that, because it feels unfair. I know, I get it. There are certain experiences that either you or your twin will go through that helps with aligning. And eventually, well, what will happen is this person will say, what am I doing? I'm not on my path. Okay? Because if you feel there is a path, there's a path. There just is. No other explanation. There just is. All right. So almost every day, try and stay focused and heal as things come up, but it's really hard. Yes, it can feel very challenging. I recommend, I do have the group coaching program. This is our focus. I'm like, you know what? We need to nip this, but to do it, we're getting to the root of it. So it's not like we're centering on a conversation. How do we nip this? No. We connect with the fear and release it. Feel it, release it. Soul, connect with our soul. We're going to be talking about this next time. Healing of the soul. Your soul, we talk about soul growth and evolution, but then yet we're saying the soul just is. And by the way, thank you. I have to give credit to the person who said this. This was Alice. Thank you so much. And it just made sense. So we are going to talk about it next week, Tuesdays, when we're having that group session again. So a lot of less focus. We're not focusing on that person because it's not going to help. And we focus on other areas. And just like that, there's a shift that happens. There's a shift that takes place. Okay. And throat chakra. Yep. Can we be balanced even if we're not talking right now? Absolutely. And I recommend it. I recommend being balanced all day, every day, especially when you're coming into alignment with everything that you know on a soul level. This is how things show up for you, is when you are within and you're feeling relaxed in the soul's energy and moving this way instead. All right. You're welcome, Diamond. Thank you, everyone, for all your comments. See you next time. Bye.